Scarlet's current. A little bit more serious, willing, funny. Sometimes I keep giggling, the kind of serious. Currently alive, but she's brain also as a child. This is like this gotta be this is real life. The issue that she's months pregnant, Mary period is about 4. On my mic. Texas UC audio. Testing 1 2 1 2. Mike is the deal. Adriana Smith. He served as a Red Name Hospital there. Order. Sir, that's not. A Wi-Fi is gone there. Check it on. Different. It's not just me, but I don't think it. But anyway, Adriana Smith, of Early the George, the LI, it's infant fact to as a George 1. Stop using that, sir. But so she brain dead to completely officially a vegetable, but this baby has a heartbeat. Just because it's the mother waited until to enter complete everything individuated. That's what's one term individual. I gotta thank my idea for I know. Okay, hold on. And having issues. My change camera. I might just having camera. Test your audio. Settings. I'm looking for audio. 1 2. I might reduce my background noise. Maybe that's it. Or I have to adjust my volume. Echo cancellation may be off to use stereo audio. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna see what happens on YouTube. It's flowing fine over here. It says default iMac microphone built in. Um, iMac microphone built in. So I don't know what the deal is. Or what's in your mic? I know. It's crazy. Everybody's like your mic. Can you at least hear? It's from what Texas is saying that he can at least hear me, but it just sounds like it's underwater or a robot. I don't know. Mic. So my mics did sound nice. It was performing well. I don't know what the deal is. I don't want you guys to suffer through this because it's a serious topic. He dropped bands on a laptop. Now he broke it. No, I'm not even using the laptop. I'm using the iMac. I'm using the iMac. Is there a sound without my voice? Start the show over. Yeah, okay. I will. Let me do that. Let me make sure I have this at least. Reset it, start the show over. I need a consensus, so 2 out of 3 has to win. There's 3 people in here. If it's all 3, everybody says restart the show. 3 will be here. Texas might be with his boyfriend. But let's keep it serious this time. Let's keep it serious. Let's keep it on a serious note. I'm doing a kind of a serious show right now. If you can hear that, can you hear that? What does it sound like? What does my voice sound like right now? Because everything is clear on my end. Everything is going well. Everything is going is pushing. So I don't know. I'll show this. Let me show a video. If the video sounds chopped, then I'll start over. You'll have to let me know.
New developments right now in the case of a pregnant woman being kept alive on life support. 11 Alive first told you about Adriana Smith last week. She went to the hospital 8 weeks into her pregnancy, complaining of a headache, and just hours later, doctors declared her brain dead. It's a story that's making headlines all around the globe, sparking debates over Georgia's heartbeat law.
Tonight, our Cody Alcorn spoke exclusively with Smith's mother again about the emotional toll of this pregnancy, and she says the state left them no choice but to continue. He's live now from Emory University Hospital in Midtown. Cody, we know this is a situation that has really been taxing for this family.
It really has, Jennifer and Ron. Adriana was moved here to Emory Midtown on Tuesday. She's expected to remain on life support through August, when doctors plan to deliver her baby by C-section. 30-year-old Adriana Smith is 22 weeks pregnant.
But she's not there. She's not there. But the baby's there.
April Newkirk says her daughter was declared brain dead on February 19th. Adriana was 8 weeks pregnant.
We wanted to know if she was to abort, would she have a chance at her life? And they said there was no chance or no hope.
In Georgia, the state's heartbeat law bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected.
So at that point, we continued with the pregnancy that we didn't have a choice or a say about. And I just want to be clear on something. We want her to have her baby. We want her life to continue throughout her children. But at the same time, to see her lay there like that, for that length of time, the grieving process for us, it can't even start, because every time we go, we grieve and we hurt. And it's just unreal. It's unreal for anyone to go through this.
April says they named her daughter's baby Chance.
Because to me, he's getting a second chance.
Despite his mom's condition,
the baby is the right weight, a little bit over, which is a good sign. He has his legs, his toes, his limbs. Heartbeat is good and strong. It's just maybe because of the loss of consciousness with my daughter, the lack of oxygen that the baby didn't get. So that's where the cerebellum comes into place.
Baby Chance's future is still uncertain.
So the journey is for baby Chance to survive, and in whatever condition God allows him to come here in, we're going to love him just the same, and we're going to embrace him.
Adriana does have a 7-year-old son. His name is Chase, and he has no idea what is happening. He still thinks his mom is just asleep. Now, as you mentioned, this whole case has sparked a conversation. It has sparked debate about the gray areas of the state's heartbeat law. And as reported last week, when I first sat down with April, she believes the heartbeat law needs to be re-examined and changed.
Cody, certainly a very difficult situation all the way around there. Thank you so much for bringing us that update tonight. Meanwhile, in a statement released last week from Georgia's Attorney General Chris Carr, his office said in part, there is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Removing life support is not an action with the purpose to terminate a pregnancy.
Okay. Do I still sound like a robot? Do I still sound like I'm underwater? If I see there's 2 people in here, so I need to have at least half of the vote. 2 people have to say for 100%. Start the video over. Sounds perfect. I sound good? Do I sound good? Do I sound great? I fixed whatever little something had to be done. Did it go through? Do I sound great? Radio Hawkins says sound perfect. He wouldn't what is it called? I can't even think of what it's called. Radio Hawkins wouldn't be a not a clown, not a bot. What is it called? A troll. He's not. Radio Hawkins, you're not trolling, are you? Sound perfect. Sounds perfect. All right. So I'm gonna continue. All right. So very serious subject. As you saw in that video, the mother, she was very composed. She was very I don't like to use the word for I don't even like it for black people, white people, any person. When you say, "Oh, they're so articulate," like that's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be articulate. Crystal clear. Thank you. Okay, cool. But you're supposed to be articulate. That's what you're, as a human being, you're supposed to speak well and talk. I don't care what color you are. Oh, wait, they say about black people, but he's just so articulate. It's just so great. It's like a backhanded compliment to me. But anyway, Texas back with his name. Okay, now I'm gonna lead the chatter on. Adriana Smith, say her name. Salute to Robert Naser. Salute to him. He says prop scholar. I am talking about a very serious topic, and Robert Naser is one of the leading objectivists in our movement. He has a show with his beautiful wife, Amy Naser, and they are a great couple. They are great people. So I appreciate Robert Naser for coming through. I'm looking for Sir Rick James to come through sometime, Mr. Rick James to come through. But anyway, this law is hideous. It is horrific. Carr says one thing, but he's really talking about something else. He's saying that women don't have, if you don't have control over your body, you don't have control over your baby either. It's up to the state. That's completely wrong. That's completely disrespectful and a complete slap in the face to all, human being, all mothers, all would-be mothers, all women who carry their child, and she had Adriana Smith had complications. She was essentially brought to I'll read Robert Nature's quote. He says, "You're very kind, sir, and you are a thinker. You're right. This situation brings out the worst in the law and in our politicians, aka rulers." Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Nacer. Appreciate it. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm just watching a few episodes of The Handmaid's Tale. I'm like, this is supposed to be fiction. Margaret Atwood wrote a Booker Prize winning novel about all of this, and it was adapted into a very very harsh, very very heavy, but very very important and very strong adaptation of her novel, The Handmaid's Tale. And it just really gets at your gut, because you're like, this is supposed to be fiction. This is not supposed to be real life. This is supposed to be something that has only fictional value, but it's going on in real life, especially with the Roe v. Wade being overturned. I mean, it's a very very serious situation, and it could get worse and worse as long as the theocracy continues. There's a sense of putting God into politics and having the principles of the ancient scrolls take over rational thought. And that's what this title is about. The title is Adriana Smith Deserves the Only Rational Option. And the only rational option is for her to be taken off of respirator or whatever machinery that is keeping her alive, and for her baby to either be individuated and live, or for it to die with her. And that should be the choice of the family. They don't have the option. They don't have the free will. It's all up to the state. And I don't mean just the state of Georgia. I mean the government that's presiding over everything, even the federal government, because the federal government stopped Roe v. Wade, and they have the heartbeat law. And that's just disturbing. Salute to Black Cuddy. I salute to you, sir. Salute, respect. That's just disturbing. The heartbeat law. What does a heartbeat have? Just because they have a heartbeat? I just saw on, just a few months ago, there was a man who didn't have a heart in his body, but continued to live for I think it was a few hours, maybe a few days, and he's still alive, I think, to today. I mean, a heartbeat, your heart is a glorified, glorious organ. Everybody says my heart, my love, my heartbreak, whatever. The heart is a very powerful, very important organ of your body, of course. There's no question about that. But when it comes to people, I think they get emotional because they think emotion is tied to the heart. They think emotion is produced by the heart. It originates from the heart, when in fact it comes from your brain. Your brain is the one that shows you what is meant to be emotional, what kind of emotions you have. There was a pseudoscience called phrenology, and like many other pseudosciences, it was false, but it had some parts that were true to it. Like they had, like, in your, like you'll see in maps, it will show maps of the brain, and it will show you, say, like happiness, anxiety, sadness, excitement, and stuff like that in different parts of the brain. That's all bunk. But what it gave way to was actual science that said that different chemicals in your brain contribute to your happiness, your anxiety, your love, your joy, your pain, your sorrow. All these things combined are in your head, your brain, all in your thoughts. So we don't know about the baby's thoughts. We don't know about we only understand the brain activity of the child, the unborn child. He's not even born yet. He's not even born yet. Hold on one moment. Hold on one moment. Okay, so we're talking about the phrenology, but I mean pseudoscience and then real science. Real science says that the only rational option is to take her off life support or have the option of the family, because the mother still wants her to continue in life. I mean, she sadly, but that should be her choice. I disagree with it. But she should have the choice to make. It shouldn't be with the government. The government should have nothing to do with it. I'm a selfish, rational man. If somebody told me, you know what, you could have cancer later on in life, we're going to take out your prostate. What? It's my prostate. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't have. I don't have any kids. I don't have any natural kids. But oh yeah, we're going to make sure you have a vasectomy, or you can't have a vasectomy anymore. Either way, whatever the case may be, what is it about the government and women's bodies? I don't understand. I love women. They're great. I'm a heterosexual man. Like, I don't understand what this issue is with the woman's womb. What is it beyond the obvious being, the theocratic ideas, the ideas of a God centric government. I mean, that's the only reason why. I mean, and I guess the non-religious or non-faith, I don't like to use the word religion or religious, but the non-faithful ideal has to do with, I guess maybe harvesting babies or something. I don't know what the alternative would be, but I think it's completely despicable. It's completely disgusting. It's very disturbing, the way it is handled. It contributes to something that brings out the worst, I think, in everybody who calls themselves an American. And that's what another thing about people that are coming over to this country. I said an Inspector Deck reference. We got stick up kids, corrupt cops, and crack rocks. And that's just an example. I mean, we don't have crack rocks as much as we used to, 30 years ago. But I was just saying that as an example of we have a lot of major problems, and people still want to come over here and live the best life they possibly can. We have this abortion issue. The stereotype is that most Hispanics, they don't have an issue with fertility. They have 6, 7 kids. They're Catholics. They're very adept to the practice of having babies allegedly. So but that's just true. But Adriana Smith, I mean, it tears at my mind. Doesn't tear at my heart. It tears at my mind. It really does a triple flip, in my thoughts, because she is completely at the mercy of the state. She's in Georgia, and the governor is not really backing her. He's saying some sideways stuff that doesn't really add up, doesn't really make that much sense. I'm not really understanding what he's saying. But that's just just the way of so certain people that support those kind of ideas. And what are the ideas? These ideas shouldn't even they shouldn't even be in reality. They shouldn't even be truth, but they are. Abortion, the morning after pill, contraceptives, all these things. People are opposed to them. I think there are clinics being blown up, fertility clinics, and abortion clinics are being blown up. Doctors are being killed, being hunted down and shot in the street like dogs because they're providing a service that people should have no business in doing. And I love what the late great George Carlin said about right wingers, especially. They want to have live babies, so 18 years later they can have dead soldiers. That's reality. That's their whole idealism. They want to have the child be born, and if you I can't remember his line, but he said if you're pre-K, you're okay. If you're pre if you're over 18, you're effed. He says, he uses the F word. It's true. The right wing, and I would say some left wingers too. Some really left wingers probably agree with abortions being up to the state. No, the right wingers of today, I would say so, Bumba. I would disagree with you. Right wingers of today. That's why we had the Roe v. Wade overturned. And that's what scares me. I mean, what else can be overturned? Some things need to be overturned. The Civil Rights Act needs to be overturned. That needs to be abolished. That's one thing they could start on. It's a weird thing too, because they prioritize things differently and weirdly. How do you prioritize certain issues over others? And especially that are, more pressing. Are you saying John McCain almost 20 years ago? Bumba, John McCain died in the mid 2010s. What are you talking about? And his mother outlived him, by the way. He was 80 and his mother was 107 at the time he died. She was 106 and she died when she was 107. So she outlived her 80-year-old child. This is a great example of what people don't understand about life. People think, oh, we'll just have a baby and it'll be funny. And that's a human being for a long time, possibly. Like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years. You're not just talking about, a little itty-bitty baby. That baby's going to be a baby for a few months, maybe a few years. It's going to be a toddler. Then it's going to be a child, a young child. Then it's going to be a teen. And then it's going to be a young adult. It's going to be an adult. But it's more important to realize that, to recognize that, to understand that, to bring that into focus. How life is that precious. When you can be 106 years old and your son is 80 years old and dies from cancer and you outlive him. Who thinks about that when they have a baby? No, I don't think many people do think about that. They look at those babies and their cute little face and those big eyes, and they don't think, wow, I could outlive my child by, a few decades, or outlive them by my time on this earth, I could be, I'm a few decades older than them right now, but I could live to be even more. Okay, Bumba, now you're kind of ridiculous right now, my friend. Being a little ridiculous. Just slow it down. You can write whatever you want. I'm just saying, I won't be repeating it. If you want me to repeat what you're saying in the live chat, you're gonna have to slow it down. But you're moving real fast right now. But yeah. So I think with Adriana Smith, say her name. She is she shouldn't be like, what they had, what happened to Terry Schiavo. Terry Schiavo was a similar case because she was brain dead, or she was, she was responsive in some aspects, but she wasn't completely, unconscious. She had some kind of sense of consciousness, but she wasn't all there. She was like 98% gone. Like 2% of her was like, she had her mouth open like that. She was just like staring blankly. Like I just remember that story, almost verbatim. It was 2003 or 2004, I think, when they were covering it, and I just remember that whole situation. That really stirred me, because I was wondering, like, just let her go. Why not let her go? Don't prolong her non-life. It's not a life. It's living. She's alive, but she doesn't have a life. She's not enjoying the benefits and the fruits of her labor, for one, her small pleasures in life, just gardening and hobbies and stuff like that. Just she doesn't have that ability. So why would you want to continue to have her just have a living sense? Just, it's a living death. That's what Ayn Rand would say. I think she said that in a different context, but you understand what I'm saying. She it's not a real life. It's not a full life. So this is like with Adriana Smith. I mean, it's very sad. It's a very sad situation. She was sent home by the hospital, essentially saying, take some aspirin and go to sleep. So she went to sleep, and her boyfriend heard her gurgling and gurgling, possibly blood or some kind of fluids in her throat, and he rushed her to the hospital, another hospital. She went from one hospital to Emory in Atlanta, Georgia. And I think the exact hospital where she worked. And she's currently still alive. I mean, why? Why is she alive? I mean, at least had the family give their word. They don't have any say in it. It's all the hospital and the government. The government's backing it, even though I think it's Governor Carr. I think it's Governor Carr. Let me make sure. Let me see. Governor Carr. I'm making sure right now I have the right person. Okay, I don't think it's the governor. Excuse me. Pardon me. Pardon me. It's Attorney General Christopher M. Carr. They're saying Handmaid's Tale in real life. Georgia AG says heartbeat law not to blame. That's from Fox 5. Attorney General. I misspoke. It's not the governor. It's the Attorney General. Heartbeat law isn't behind brain dead mother's case. Chris Carr looks for support. Okay. So, and that's how serious the words are. Brain dead. I mean, can you get more specific? That's great. I mean, it's a serious, sad situation, but it gets right to the point. Brain dead. 2 syllables. If we use that for PTSD, maybe more people will get, instead, if we use shell shock, maybe more people will get get better care. Because post-traumatic stress disorder is like, what? So many words. Shell shock, you can automatically see shell shock. Okay. They're so overwhelmed by their circumstances that they cannot contribute to any kind of productive activity. Their brain is essentially snapped. It's essentially has been warped, in such a way that they cannot perform their duties. That's the warriors. But it could go for anybody. Anybody that's had traumatic experience, it should just be called shell shock. We should go back to World War I. Shell shock. Bam. Ooh, easy. Bang. Simple, clear, cut, boom. But so Adriana Smith. I'm gonna continue to say her name. Adriana Smith. Adriana Smith. She is a very sad case. A very sad case. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's no getting around that. It's very sad. It's crazy doctors. I mean, it may be doctors to an extent, but I think it's more so the government, more so than the private doctors. It's the doctors that have to, abide by the laws and the strictures that are passed down by the politicians. I don't blame doctors so much because they're private. They're looking for profit. They're looking for money, and that's what they're saying. I'm in favor of profit-seeking doctors because they care about money. They want to get more money. They want to, do better things. It's not only money, but that's what's the driving force. That's a very key element to what they do. Oh, they say these are greedy doctors. Yes, they're greedy doctors. Greed is a good thing. Greed is what makes people get up and go out and do things in the world. Only some people can be greedy. Oh, well, old men and old women, they can be greedy, and young kids, they can be greedy, and some kids, the poor can be greedy. Poor people can be greedy as hell. They can be really greedy. They're the anti-Kevorkian. I mean, that's another issue that's kind of tied to this. That's similar. Very, very similar. The Kevorkian case. Dr. Kevorkian was one of the heroes in life. He performed, multiple not surgeries, but what are they called? Procedures. He performed multiple procedures that allow people to be released from life, released from pain and suffering and sorrow and horrible, debilitating diseases. And he was able to do that. And everybody, maligned him and looked at him cross and said he was a horrific monster that, preyed upon people that, and murdered them. He was looked at as a murderer, like Osama bin Laden or something like that. He was looked at like a vicious, disgusting ogre, and he wasn't. They sent him to prison. Yes, Bumble, you're exactly right. He went to prison, and he shouldn't have. Assisted suicide is one of the best things ever created, because there are people. I don't even know if you have to have a debilitating disease. Maybe you're just really old. Maybe you're 111 and you're like, seen everything, did everything. I'm good. I don't even feel bad. I don't even have any injuries. I don't have a debilitating disease. I don't have any, pain. I don't have anything. I just want to go. And you should have the right to be, assisted. It's better than somebody being like, well, I don't like the way things are going, and I'm just going to get a pistol and blow my brains out. Like, assisted suicide makes it very complete, makes it very ordered, makes it very streamlined. If you can allow my terminology, it makes it very, dignified, the way to go out. So, yes, Bumble, he was not just a good guy. He was a great guy. He was a hero. He was a great man who he knew what he was doing would be seen as wrong, but he knew he was doing the right thing. And that's what, cost him his freedom. I think he got out like really late, like when he was in his 70s or 80s or something like that. And he lived pretty much, a sad life afterwards, from what I gather. He did some cool paint. I didn't know that. Bum was saying he did some cool paintings too. Okay. But this is this is connected. This doesn't have the same flavor, but it's similar. It's like raspberry and strawberry. It's like very close, but not quite. It's different. But yeah, Adriana Smith. I'm gonna continue to say her name, Adriana Smith. Always represent for her. It's such a sad situation because she was so young. She's 30. She's 30 years old. 7 years younger than myself. 30 years old. That's the age of my that's a little bit younger than my one of my youngest cousins. There is a biopic, yes, with Al Pacino. I was just about to say that. Al Pacino played him. Al Pacino played a lot of people. He played that record producer. You have to look it up for me, Bumbo. The record producer. Just put an Al Pacino record producer with frizzy hair or something like that. I can't remember his name. But yeah, so Adriana Smith. And this is what's so disgusting. It's called you don't know Jack. Yeah, you're right. Living Infant Fairness and Equality Act. They had to make an acronym. Like, how evil is that? Living Infant Fairness and Equality Act. It doesn't even make sense. Where's the fairness and what is the equality for whom? The infant? The infant can't even understand, what breathing in real life is and outside of its mother's womb is. What are you talking about? Fairness and equality. Fairness and equality are two different things. Inequality is a good thing. We're all we're not equal. Gamer Girl's coming in. Salute to Gamer Girl. Are you following? I'm doing Diddy. Yeah, I might. I'm just slowing down on Diddy. I don't know. I had to rearrange my whole topic. It was like a good timing because Mr. Choice Terrain pretty much, he took all my wind, not intentionally, not but I was gonna say the things he said, and it would have been like, Star said it already. That like who cares? Like, we already know. Star said that. Like you don't have to. Why are you repeating? You know, it's just been a whole thing. So I did pause. Doing Diddy, I know. But Gamer Girl, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to switch up, do a different topic, do a topic that my sister suggested, and very serious topic, not play, haha, he, with the Diddy and the and the baby oil and the guns and the Suge Knight and all that. I might even just wait. I might just wait to contribute another Diddy story until the trial is over. I'm very serious about doing that. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein. I might just do that. Just wait till the verdict and go on from there. I might do that. I'm seriously considering that. Apparently, Diddy defense cooked the doctor. Really? I did not know that. I'll look into that. I didn't see that today, but okay. Defense cooked the doctor. What doctor? To what doctor? Who's doctor? Gamer Girl. Yeah, Adriana Smith. I mean, the attorney, the AG, the Attorney General Carr. Attorney General Carr is. Yeah, they got so frustrated. Amber Heard trial doctor. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So the Amber Heard trial doctor is part of the Diddy's case? Is that what you're saying? I'm a little confused. Excuse me. Dawn Hughes? Yes. Okay. Okay, I got you, Gamer Girl. Okay. Thank you for coming in, by the way. Appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. I'm having a very serious topic. No giggling, no laughing. Very serious, very significant subject. Adriana Smith. I keep saying her name, Adriana Smith. Oh, it's worth a cover today. Tea is scolding hot. I have to do my research. I can't just jump in and say, oh well, the doctor was, done with, I can't, just jump in and say that. But if you can, on your channel, I'll watch you, Gamer Girl, if you want to do that. And is it Weeglies or Weaglies? What is Weaglies? What is that? I'm not familiar with that. Is that part of a game or something? I'm just calling you Gamer Girl. But Adriana Smith, prom of her life, 30 years old, hockey thing. Okay, I know Sally's is a hockey thing. That's celebrations. Sally's. I don't know what Weeglies are. You have to explain that to me, Gamer Girl. So it's very possible that we can reverse all this. I mean, all we need is another, Democrat or somebody like that to get in the White House and overturn what was already overturned. Roe v. Wade, and what happens then? Another Republican gets in and then overturns that again, or the Supreme Court justices. Okay. She says the Washington Capitals logo. They completely just overturn it again. Politics is such a disgusting, disturbing, ugly thing. It's just so, and it doesn't have to be. It should be beautiful. Government should be wonderful. Should be great. It's so, job is to protect individual rights. That's it. Not to give out goodies. No, health care and health insurance and welfare and different phones. Could you imagine if the government made phones or cars? The government does make the government has a agreement with phone companies to make Obama phones, and they're disgusting. They're like horrible. I've never touched them, but I know the limited research I've seen, I'm like, is that even a phone? I mean, it's like not even. It's not even. It's like a joke. It's not even serious. Like consumer cellular's phones are better than Obama phones. But could you imagine if there were Trump cars or Trump? Yeah, well, there probably will be. There may be. I mean, close enough is Elon Musk with Tesla, which are coal cars, which are created in coal power factories. But that's a totally different issue. I know. I'm going down the rabbit hole, but I'm essentially saying the same thing. I mean, government healthcare is just horrific. It's almost like an oxymoron, or a complete disruption in meanings. One meaning, government protect individual rights, and healthcare privatized, fully free to anybody to enroll or to create, and the producers, the providers are protected. Their rights are protected by the government. That's all that means. That's all it should mean. So Adriana Smith should be protected by her government. She should not be violated by her government. The government is violating her by keeping her alive, in my opinion. Or if not just keeping her alive, not giving the family the right to say she should be alive or not. She's brain dead, which essentially is to say she's dead. So it's ironic. It's like the baby all it needs is a heartbeat, but the mother has to have her brain functioning. Where's the sense in that? Why is that? Her heartbeat is there. So why is she even considered, she should be heart dead, right? Shouldn't it be heart dead? Not brain dead, right? Salute Focus. Salute to you, sir. I'm about to grab an eighth of Sherbari and an eighth of Grape Obsession. That sounds like some good, some good leaf. Enjoy that. I won't do it till I'm like 90 or 100. But, anybody that does, weed, salute to you, We might find someday, it's a decrease in people who are brain dead or, end up in these situations because they have marijuana. Who knows? There could be medical benefits of it. There already are. The CBD and THC, relieving joint pain, relieving, stress. But somehow it's the devil's lettuce. Like, what? I'm trying not to laugh, excuse me, but that was funny. He said weed and bad bees, my addiction. That gave me a little bit of joy because I'm doing a very serious situation right now. Adriana Smith. Adriana Smith is a young woman in her prime of her life. She already has one son. I think she either has a daughter in her womb, but she's brain dead. But why isn't she heart dead? Why is she not heart dead? Why don't they ever say that? Why do people say brain dead instead of heart dead? That's my question. Yeah, no giggling, sir. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why don't we say heart dead? Why do we say brain dead? Everything's if the baby has a heartbeat, okay. What about its brain? Its brain function. We don't say heart dead. We say brain dead, which is essentially just saying you're dead. Because I personally have seen people, a human being, a very close friend of the family, perish. He had a similar situation with the hospital. They performed a successful operation with his kidney. He had diabetes. It meant that he could eat whatever he wanted. He didn't have to test his finger. He didn't have to, worry about going into shock or, having any complications from eating the wrong foods. He could have had anything he wanted: cheeseburgers, turkey burgers, pies, cakes, pudding, brownies, cookies, all of that. But something happened. We don't know. There was a whole, I don't know if there was a real investigation, but they essentially said he was left somewhere. From what I understand, he was left somewhere, and then they found him, and he was unresponsive. Then they found out that he had no brain activity. He was brain dead. And it was just heartbreaking. I mean, I use that word, lightly, because I don't like to say heartbreaking, because it's really brain breaking. It's mind breaking, because your heart doesn't have anything to do with emotion. If it's your brain sends signals to your heart when you have emotions, when you have passion and love and hate and anger and different things like that. Your brain is sending that to your heart to giving it for it to pump blood, for you to act. But it's all in your head. It's your brain. So anyway, this very close friend of the family, I literally watched him die. I watched him die. They made a decision. My people in my family made a decision, because he directed a person from my family to make the call, and they made the decision. They made the call, and along with his daughter, to make the call to take him off of life support. And he lived for he without any machines, he lived maybe 2, 3, 5 minutes, and he was just like, it was like very very labored breathing, and it's finally slowed, and he just slipped away. And that was the second person I've seen die right in front of me. First was my grandfather. Wasn't biological, but he essentially was my grandfather, because he did more than my biological grandfather did. But that wasn't really a problem, but I'm getting too far. But so I've seen somebody who was brain dead turn and become, die. I mean, because you're already dead technically. You're brain dead. If you're brain dead, you're dead. To me, I maybe in science, when we get advancements, when we get objective science, more than we have now, we'll see a day where, brain dead can be completely reversed. We can have some kind of drug, we have some kind of functioning, that can jumpstart the brain or something like that, and there won't be brain death, there'll be brain life. I might change the title to brain life, because that's what we say. Not heart, not heart death, but brain life, But I think that's interesting that we don't say heart death. We say brain death. We say you're brain dead. I'm trying not to giggle. Why are you making me giggle, son of the Sun 90? I'm glad for that, though. Thank you for letting me know what you just got. I'm not going to repeat it on the air, but Adriana Smith, represent for Adriana Smith. She caught a bad one. Really sad, but it should be given up to the family. The final say. It should all be given up to the family. It should completely be given to the family. Son of the Sun 90 says, I seen an episode of Black Mirror where they had this program that kept you alive in your subconscious. I can't remember what episode. I think I've seen every episode of Black Mirror, but I don't remember that one. You have to. Oh yes, are you saying San Junipero? San Junipero sounds like the one you're talking about. San Junipero, is that the one where the two women they have a lesbian relationship, and they can go into different parts of the 80s and 90s and have parties and stuff like that? Yeah, the two females. Yup, the lesbians. Yeah, the black one and the white one. Mackenzie Davis. I don't know the other lady. Yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes. That's one of the best episodes ever of Black Mirror. It was great, excellent. So I mean, who know? That's what's beautiful about science fiction. It explores the unknown and the could be and the possible. It looked unfun. What do you mean it looked unfun? Why was it not unfun? Why do you say it's not unfun, sir? Why'd you say it looked unfun? Excuse me. But Adriana Smith. Now, if you can travel the world, okay. But Adriana Smith, I will continue to say her name. She has to be, it's not even like she has to be remembered. She's still alive. That's the kicker. This is the Handmaid's Tale. The government is preventing her from going on and dying, and maybe possibly having the baby live. But if the baby dies with her, then that's just the way it is. That's just nature. It's not any spiritual, mystical, foundation or anything. Oh, you gotta check out the beginning of the show, son. I'll give you a short breakdown. Adriana Smith, rock. She was 30 years old. She had complications with her pregnancy with her brain. She had blood clots in her head and her brain, and it led to complications. She was rushed to one hospital, then she was sent to the hospital where she worked at as a registered nurse, and it just spiraled downward and downward from there. She became brain dead. Her baby is still in her womb after 22 weeks. The normal gestation period is 40 weeks. So they're hanging on and seeing if the mother of the woman of Adriana Smith. She's very calm and very clear. I don't want to make fun of her and say anything else, but she said that her grandchild has feet and legs and arms and all the limbs, and the heart is intact and everything it looks very healthy, but the decision needs to be on her, on the family, as a right. I don't understand. Albert Einstein said it takes us to prolong life. I mean, if you prolong life, I mean, I don't know what he meant in that context. Did he mean if you're in pain? If you're what? Yeah, it is takes us to prolong life. And then he says, "Oh no, why? Oh no." But he says it takes us to prolong life. If you prolong life, it should be for the good. It should be for joyous life, not just anything else. One moment, I'll be right back. I'm back. Thank you for coming in, and I'm gonna just say Adriana Smith, respect to her, much respect, very serious, solemn respect to her and her family. This is nothing to be laughed at, and there's nothing to smile at. Pardon me if I had, I just see the comments and they're just hilarious sometimes. But it's a very serious subject. But I will be covering, the outcome of this specific case, and I will be reporting on it as details develop. So thank you for watching. Take care.